Hello guys and welcome to another legit build video. Today we will be showcasing the Max Armor Alchemist. It's basically a Max Armor support class, so it focuses on two things: survivability and keeping your friends alive. So let's see what we're working with here. We're double classing two support classes. We have the Alchemist and the Medic. We have, as you can see, our numbers are pretty up there. This build is really tanky. The Alchemist gives us the ability of carrying 3 additional concoction buffs. For this build particularly, we're going to be using the Mudtooth Tonic. We're going to be using Dark Cider. We're going to be using Root Water. And we're going to be using Xenoplasm. So as you can see, with this 4 things, we do have pretty big numbers. Namely, we have 212 HP, which is a lot, especially when you consider that our armor is so high. We have 133 stamina, which is still pretty good, and like 3.3 over the maximum. And we have armor 200, giving us 50% damage reduction. Next to our traits here that we have, like potency, we have triage, so more consumable duration, more healing. We have strong back and 45. These two are giving us the tankiness with the armor and armor values. We have regrowth for some HP regen next to bloodstream, gives us HP regen for our gray health. We have Vigor, Endurance, Spirit, Expertise maxed out as usual, and we have Bark Skin and maximum with 10%. So we have a lot of armor and big numbers. Let's see. So we have a total of almost 70% damage reduction. It says here that the maximum is 80%, so always take that into consideration. We're only 10 away from the max. We have skill cooldowns faster, we have more mod power generation, we have 80% critical hit damage, 10% chance. So we have 10% chance plus 10% from the Chicago typewriter, that's 20. So we have 20% at all times, and then when I activate corrosive rounds, which is the mod that I selected for my Chicago typewriter, it increases 15% more effectively for a 35% critical hit chance at 80% damage. And finally, we have Momentum, which is the mutator. You've seen me coupling this two before. They give me very good results, basically increasing up to 30% more damage and chance for a maximum of like 65% chance and 110, 120 damage. So that's how we do damage with this build. I'm going to be honest, the weapons that you choose do not change the purpose of the build. So those 3 are entirely up to you. I'm just showing you what I'm using and why I'm using it. So since we're going to be having critical hit chance 10% because of the Alchemist and Medic damage perks, I might as well try and make use of that critical hit chance. So that's what I'm doing. Then I have, very important, 75% damage. This is all damage. So both the Alchemist and the Medic damage perks, as you can see, they give 25% damage and 5% critical hit. So both of them stack, and then on top of that, we're using the set of rings that are going to give us more. So we have Whispering Marble, 3 stacks of Bulwark. Every stack of Bulwark gives you approximately 7 defense, damage reduction, and then it increases the damage of our character by 3% per each stack of Bolt Stock. And then we have this one that gives us 1 more stack of Bulwark and increases damage up to 60% of the total damage reduction granted by Bulwark. So between these two things, we are increasing, obviously, our damage reduction and our total damage. Very good, great combination, works on a lot of builds. Then we have Lithic Signet. This one gives us an extra 7% incoming damage. It's basically what it gets us, these numbers. Be advised that if you're fighting like a boss or an enemy that's very strong with elemental damage, you can always just change to the booster ring, and this will increase all of your status resistances. As you can see here, very hefty numbers, without really affecting your damage reduction that much, just losing about 3.5 damage reduction. So just take into consideration if you're getting owned by elements, you can always just change in between those two. Then we have the probability cord. That again, I'm using this one because I'm pairing out with critical hit damage to do some damage. And finally, the Seal of the Empress, because 20 HP for 5 stamina is a lot. Now, taking into consideration you are using an Alchemist and we are stacking Mudtooth, Stonic, and Darksider, you might want to change that ring if you want something else. Both of it. This applies for both of these guys, right? Like both of these rings are really. You can change them. What's important is these 3 guys and the combination of traits to get us very high damage reduction numbers. That's pretty much it. Now, what you're going to be doing is whenever you have like a strong fight, you're going to use your alchemist skill that we are using Stone Mist. This increases damage reduction 25%, effectively getting us over the maximum. It also reduces stagger, increases blight build-up decay, and makes the target immune to status effects. So, that's why I'm not using the booster ring all the time. In the few times that you actually find somebody that does good elemental damage, your own stone skin is gonna protect you from effects, at least status effects. But so you get maximum armor plus a lot of very nice extra effects there whenever you have a difficult fight. And then we have Healing Shield, which is exceedingly good. Like all medic skills are very good. This one gives everybody a shield for 100% of their HP and then gives them health regeneration. I think that it helps me keep people alive. And finally, we are using the Heart, the Relic Pulsing Heart. Now you're going to notice that we're actually using mods, the little mutators here, because it is necessary for this build. We have more revive speed, more health, even more health, and 10 elemental resistance all around. So with these 3, you can sense how strong this is when it comes to healing, defense, reviving. Since we do a lot of healing with pulsating hearts and the shields, you are going to be able to use quite some of these pulsating hearts to also revive friends, right? So without further ado, let's see some gameplay. There isn't much to say when it comes to damage. Any weapon works. Like right now I'm just using a normal Chikao type rider. I just shoot with it, let the mutator do its thing. You know, when I'm about to run out of bullets, I just go ahead and activate the mod, and I get even more critical hit damage. You know, 1500, 1600 DPS for a bit. It's not too bad for a medic, and it gives you consistent damage at any range. And then finally we have the shotgun. Double barrel shotgun using with the Slayer. Increases reloading speed by 15% and damage of the next shot, so that's huge. And let's go ahead and find somebody to help.